All right. Looks like we are live. Let me just quickly check and see if it is happening in the group. Okay, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is a very, very exciting time. I have Anne Harvey here with me. Anne is one of my most amazing clients, and she is out of Ireland. She's 57, and today, guys, we're gonna learn more about Anne, about her amazing life, and when I learned about and just like how cool of a person she is, and then how even she became alcohol dependent, and then just to show how bad things do happen to good people
If you have a
sometimes.
swollen prostate,
and
see.
and we're just gonna give it a couple more minutes for
Yeah,
it
sorry
to.
about that. It was
No worries, no
this
worries.
technology business. Yes.
No, it's okay. It hasn't even hit 12 o'clock yet,
Yeah.
so we shall wait to begin. How are you
Yeah.
feeling? You feeling good?
Yeah. Sweating.
Sweating?
Sweating
Okay.
buckets.
All
Uh,
right. So, Anne, as I mentioned, thank you so much for joining us. And it is 12 o'clock now, so I feel like we should go ahead and get started. Um, so, Anne, please welcome to the client spotlight once again with the hard reset. So this is something I like to do to share and celebrate our successes, as well as show anyone else that may be on the fence, or someone that may be struggling, that wants to create this change, but we both know how difficult that can be. So without much further ado, and please, I'd love to learn more about, tell us more about your life in Ireland, your life as an anthropologist, all these other amazing degrees you have, and how we how alcohol was sort of impacting all of these things.
well, as you rightly said, I'm 57 years old. Thanks for that, Amazon.
You look lovely.
Oh,
you look
thank
you
you.
look absolutely lovely.
Yeah, when I left school, I went to university and did anthropology. And then after that, I worked in Dublin Port for the harbour master in Dublin Port.
Okay.
I was involved in the sea traffic control. It's like air traffic control, except it's at sea.
Nice.
Yeah, ships. Anyway, then 18 years ago, about, both my mum and dad got ill at around the same time, so I became their carer. And certainly I was having a few drinks every night, like maybe 2 cans of beer, which
Right.
went up to 4 cans of beer, which went up to 8 cans of beer.
Right.
Then that wasn't working for me, so I changed it to spirits.
Right. I feel like that's the natural progression, right? You start
Um,
small and then you build yourself.
Yeah, it's
So,
insidious. So yeah, I could down a bottle of wine in about 3 minutes.
yeah. So, starting with a couple of beers here and there,
Yeah.
where were you when we first met back in March? So 25 years later, how much had it grown to?
I had a bit of an intervention with family and was more or less told off, got my act together. And
But no, I remember you mentioned that back in March you were basically drinking at least 2 bottles of whiskey and a
yeah,
bottle of wine. So like, how long did that continue in your life?
that was more or less over a year. I don't know how
Wow.
I don't know how I'm still alive.
So could you share with us like like what kind of place were you in, mentally, physically, like what kind of damage was this doing to your well-being?
Well, I became anxious and depressed, obviously, because alcohol is a depressant, and sure, my life was in chaos. I lost my house. My marriage fell apart. Um, Lost friends. Um, I was the drunkest person at weddings, funerals, birthday parties,
Same.
blackouts, blackouts. How did I get home? Where am I? It
Wow.
was a shit
Thank
show.
you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know that it couldn't have been easy to sort of, reopen that can of worms, but I mean, look, it's been 5 months now, so now we can move on to the fun things, the good things, right? So, for
Exactly.
everyone that's watching, so Anne and I met in a Facebook group, and she had reached a point in her life where her family was getting concerned, and as she mentioned that she had a bit of a intervention from her family, and that's sort of when her and I connected. We chatted. I learned more about what she was struggling with, and Anne was so forthcoming, and she kind of just shared everything with me. So here we are, 5 months later, from two bottles of whiskey and a bottle of wine a day to what is it? A total of three times that you drank in the last almost 6 months.
Yeah, three breakouts.
Three breakouts, but I mean, and you've worked so hard, and I've worked with you every week, week in, week out since then. And sobriety isn't easy, especially when you're in a place where you are like now, but I am the most impressed with your resilience and your desire to keep going even after the slip ups. You were just like, no, I'm getting back on the horse. I'm going right back to it. So I'd love to
Yeah.
know, what was in the beginning, what made the biggest impact for you in terms of being able to break the habit, and what kind of lifestyle changes did you make in the beginning that helped with that?
Well, um, I was totally wrecked, tired, but I knew that I had to get off drinking, and because I drank so much, I drank like a big man would drink.
Yeah.
So I said I would go to my GP first of all because he said that I could fit. I could go
Yep, I
in.
remember I was concerned as well,
Yeah,
because I thought that there is some element of a physical dependency here, so better get the all clear from the
yeah,
doctors
yeah,
before we
absolutely.
implement our plan.
Yeah. So
And
uh, then we hooked up. Then I think after that was it or
yep.
before? Um, and I came round to the idea that mindfulness might be a good idea.
Yeah, good idea, right? For-
Because I was a bit hesitant about that one.
I
And
remember.
yeah, and then I joined a gym and got I go every day for an hour now, and then I do a lot of walking. So I think, like you were saying, exercise is you know really good. And I've lost about a stone in
How
weight.
much is a stone for us North Americans?
Oh God, I don't know.
Hang on,
Let's
find
have a
out how
Google.
many pounds is a stone. A stone is 14 pounds. Wow. That's
40
that's a
pounds.
lot. That's
Yeah,
significant.
yeah.
And
And it sort of fell off me because it was all just sugar I was putting in to my body.
right, exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So changed my diet with salads and stuff like that and fish. And,
Essentially, what you did was you initiated the hard reset, which is, taking small steps, but in five different places in your life, or at the very least four different places in your life, so that you can take small but consistent steps. And before you even know it, you start thinking and feeling better. And it's as if like the person who started this on day one is just no longer there. And it's like a newer person that's got newer ideas and more motivation, and
mm,
kind of just steamrolls
yeah,
from that point
exactly.
on. So, and there's so many positives to talk about. And before we get into that, I'd love to know, in your own words, what was your biggest challenge that you had to overcome in order
Uh,
to become sober?
um, to stop drinking.
To build up a little bit more from that, was it like, I guess,
Yeah.
what was your,
I
your
was
biggest
really,
source?
I was really worried about my body, physical and my mental state. And the worst thing I was doing when I was drinking, I blamed every single other person about my problems, whereas I was the problem all along. And
Well,
that was
that's the
hard to
equivalent of
comprehend, you know. But yeah, with your help now and constant nagging,
it's, it's my job.
you did a good job. And I did what you suggested, like the meditation and the exercises, and that, the jotting down on a piece of paper, journaling. But yeah, just would down a few words every day, and to remind me about things that are much better now and everything.
Right.
And, um, like I'm so much more healthy in
You are.
every.
You're burning almost 1,000 calories a day, and that's just incredible.
Yeah.
Like every single day. Even I don't do that. I don't have that many calories to burn. So that's just, that's it's incredible how much your work rate, your productivity, you're learning new languages. You're learning Russian. You said
Mhm.
you're getting more involved. You're going out more, and it's just, completely different. So I guess that leads me to my next question to you, which is, how has your life changed since you became alcohol free?
Oh, it's much better. I have a good routine to my day. Wake up early, yeah. Do a little bit of mindfulness.
Yeah.
I I started that guided meditation. I find it's helping me, because I couldn't do the mindfulness as such, but I'm getting there. And I really drink a lot of water all the time now because I became so dehydrated. My skin's terrible, you know.
Not
Um,
anymore. It used to
I
be.
was
Used to
desperate.
be.
Yeah, I was all red and blotchy, and it was disgusting. And my teeth went like a yellowy color.
Right.
I'm getting whiteners, using whiteners. So for I'll be on it for about 3 months. The whiteners, it's like a brace thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was able to spend money like in to better myself. I had the money to spare, and then
Right.
buying alcohol is not cheap.
Yeah. So that leads me to a good question now, in terms of like, how much you were spending on alcohol and all of that, like the investment into the hard reset. Like, would you say it was worth it? Would you say you ended up saving money in
Oh,
comparison?
absolutely, it was well worth the money.
And
It
that's
saved
that.
my life.
Wow.
You saved my
Good.
life, Hamza.
Well, I'm so glad that that you feel like that, because it sounds like, you got a new thirst for life, a new zest for life in
Yeah.
terms of your daily routine. So what does now the future look like for you? Like when you think of your future, the next following few months, few years? Like how do you feel about your life now?
Yeah, I could look forward to stuff, and I was able to go back to work and part time, and like that, I'm studying Russian in the
Right.
evenings. Yeah, and just over Zoom at the moment because of COVID, and but we're going back into the classroom maybe next week or the week
Very
after.
nice. So you get
So
to be around people now too.
yeah, which is great. Yeah, because I think part of it was a bit loneliness, you know.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Um, and
like,
overall, I mean, there's been, again, like this wasn't without its challenges, and but like I said, you stuck through it. So
mm,
what would be your advice now that you are alcohol free, now that you have regained control of your life and you're happy and just feeling good? What would be your advice to anyone that is on the fence, not really sure, or just don't think that they can do it? Like there's the place where you were in the
yeah.
beginning. What
It's
would
a
be your advice to them?
well. First of all, you have to realize it's going to be a terrible, terrible journey. It's been really, really difficult to stay off alcohol. Like, I remember the first few days. Yeah, I was feeling delighted with myself that I'll never drink again, and then I went and had a drink. So these are the pitfalls,
Right.
um, you know, but your life will come together slowly but surely, come together. And with some of the people that I knew while I was drinking, I don't really see them anymore. Not that I've cut them out, it's just not part of my lifestyle
Right.
anymore. But like, if you were in company and a lot of people were drinking, you just have to say, I'm giving up drinking because it's not good for me,
Yeah.
you
That's
know?
sometimes we need the courage to say those words that, hey, I just don't drink anymore, and
Yeah,
that's that.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Like I went to a restaurant the other day, and it was like my partner, she said that, okay, like it's for his birthday, so please get us a good table, that kind of thing. So the server came to me and he's like, oh my god, we'll get you a drink on the house, and I'm like, yo, I don't drink. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, this guy doesn't drink. Like he did that to me in the patio, and I was just laughing. I'm like, yep, I don't. And
Right. Yeah, they're the times that really.
so, and would you say then that you've not only broken the drinking habit, but you've also changed your whole life around?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know who I want to be close to, and I hope by telling my story here would help some other people who are in the middle of a struggle, because it's
Certainly.
just the worst thing ever. But the best thing you can do for yourself is to give up the drink. You
and
know.
and to ask for help, because a lot of us, we struggle.
Yeah, and then just how I look back and I feel ashamed about some of the stuff I did, and the shame is sort of a good thing in a way because it helps you stop stepping back into a bottle of wine.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
and I would also recommend like um, to have a good coach like you to a mentor. You know, because it is trust and everything, isn't it? I think I trusted you, you know, so
Thank you.
I got lucky, you know.
I'm glad you did. That's how it turned out for you. Um, and that's that's a very important thing that you just mentioned there, the trust, right?
Yeah,
Because now this world is all online, right? So how
absolutely.
do you know who to trust, who's got your best interest, and who's who's just trying to make a buck, so it's a
Yeah,
very 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 valid point that you raised, and I'm glad that you were able to trust me. I've tried to present myself in as authentic of a way as possible at all times.
yeah,
And for everyone that's watching, I just want you guys to know that it's a big decision to ask for help. And sometimes we get so stuck in that whole should I ask for help, what does that make me dialogue, that we end up not getting any help and we stay
yeah,
exactly where we are, right? In today's day and age, especially in 2021, there is no shame in asking for help. And
absolutely.
that's
No. Yeah.
that's why people like me are here, like I love this. This is, this is the kind of stuff that I get excited for, and it comes from a very genuine place in my heart to see people like yourself, going from where you were to where you are now. And I feel like this is only the beginning for you. um, and I'm so thankful that I had the experience, I had the opportunity to work with you. I'd worked with several people before, but not someone who was suffering the way you were, right? So it
Mm,
was it was challenging for me as a coach as well to
mm.
navigate all of the ebbs and flows
That's
of
it, yeah.
of of sobriety. And I'm just, me personally, I feel proud that, okay, look, like, we do recover, we do change.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter like what stage of life you're in, whether you're in your
yeah,
30s or
yeah. Age
older.
is no barrier to making you stop drinking or start leading a healthy life.
I mean, I just don't see a point anymore. Like, what's the
Mm.
point of drinking? There is absolutely no point.
It's toxic.
Yeah,
It's toxic and it makes you toxic and the people around you become toxic.
exactly.
Mm.
And
So,
I mean, lastly, I just want to add that, just your energy, the way you present yourself, the way you smile now and when we talk and everything, all of this is all new from before, because before you were not in a place where you could even like smile or laugh as much. I remember the first few weeks, it was just very gradually we were building it up. But the point that I'm trying to make is that this does work one day at a time. You do have
absolutely.
to put in the work. There is
Yeah,
just no other way. And we can do this. It's not
yeah,
impossible. It seems impossible because,
yeah,
we narrow our focus down to a point where we can only think about the bad things, and we can
yeah,
only think of, because they're so prominent in our lives, right? Like they're just right in
yeah.
front of us all the time, that
Absolutely.
it becomes almost impossible to sort of look above and outside the box to see, oh, wait, there's a whole life there that is there
Yeah,
waiting for you to take advantage of, right?
yeah.
So,
And really, what I would say as well, take responsibility for yourself. You know, that's how you get self esteem. You need self responsibility, accountability.
accountability,
Yeah,
yes. And that's, I mean, that's what my program does, right? Like I make sure, that's hence the nagging, because I will make sure that you stay accountable. And I want to wish you the absolute best. I feel like I've gained a friend now, and
okay.
that we will be in touch down the road,
Yeah,
and that, recovery happens in all forms, and the most beautiful form is when you find your authentic self, which I feel like you
absolutely.
have done
Yeah,
now.
definitely.
And for everybody that's watching, guys, thank you so much for joining, for stopping by. And thank you as
Yeah.
well. And for anyone that's watching this, if not now, perhaps later, if you do feel like you are in a place where you could use some help, if you've been feeling like, okay, maybe now is the time to pull the trigger and make some changes, please reach out to me. I am more than happy to help you in any way I can. And there is no reason why you should not be reaching out to at least learn more about what you're suffering from,
Yeah, absolutely.
at the
Yeah,
very least.
yeah.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
and thank you so
All
much.
right.
And
Yeah.
everybody that's watching, thank you guys as well. Once this is done, the replay will upload itself. And thank you very much. We'll see everybody soon. Okay, take care.
Okay. Right. So thanks a million.
You're
And good luck
welcome.
to
Take care.
everybody.
Bye.
Good luck to everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.